Hey guys, welcome to this free YouTube lesson. In an effort to force myself to upload more regular material to my channel for you guys, I'm going to be trying to put out some free snippets of lesson material every single week. So keep your eyes peeled on my channel for lots of cool things coming up. And if I do fall behind with it, as I tend to do sometimes, give me a nudge and I'll get back on it. So what I've been doing this week then is jamming quite a lot on static Sus4 type grooves, and this has opened quite a lot of cool options to me that I thought I'd share with you. So let's just establish what a Sus4 chord is then first of all. Essentially the main thing is the fact that it doesn't include a third. Typically a Sus4 chord would be root, fourth and fifth. This type of thing. The backing track was in B flat on the other jam video, so I'll do all this in B flat as well. So that would be a typical Sus4 chord. You can also add the minor seventh, so that would be this type of thing, which would be a 7 Sus4 chord. Now what I've done is included some of the other intervals in some of the voicings as well, so I had voicing with the sixth in the voicing, and I also had one with the ninth in there as well. And the most important thing is the fact that the third isn't there. All the other scale tones are fairly available as long as you omit the third. And this is kind of cool for when it comes to improvising over it, because it means that the tonality isn't clear. So you could play it as though it was Dorian, or you could play it as though it was Mixolydian. Or in the case of what I did in the jam, a bit of both. And just use the two major versus minor as a bit of contrast to create some interest. So a couple of devices that I use to just kind of keep things flowing and keep things smooth, rather than just boldly stating Dorian and then switching to Mixolydian without any preparation. I was approaching them via their respective 5 chords. So if I was approaching what I perceive to be B flat Dorian, I'd approach it via F7 altered presumably, and that would then be using the F Sus4 scale. So just to give you a quick example of how that would resolve. So you can see just an F7 altered line going straight to B Dorian. On the other hand, if I was going to be approaching Mixolydian, I'd make quite a conscious decision of that and approach it via its own 5 chord, which again would be an F7 chord of sorts. But to make a distinction in my own head, I was using diminished, since it's often used to approach major 1 chords. So again, to give you an example of that, we'd get something along these lines. Totally different sound altogether, and the fact that I had the distinction between Sus4 and diminished meant that it made the whole thing a little bit smoother in my ear. A couple of the devices that I was using, really just tension devices to keep things going and keep it interesting. I used a few diminished scales based on the root, so I was using a half whole diminished scale a couple of times, and also I used an augmented scale, which I started from the flat 9. So if you imagine if we were in B flat, we get this type of thing, which has got some cool notes in, and it's got a very symmetrical sound, so it sounds kind of cool. And then I was also doing some Phrygian at one point, because the Sus4 voicings, most of them could be Phrygian. Obviously the one with the 9th in couldn't be, but the other ones could be. So I used Phrygian as a tension scale there as well. And the final thing that I did was just use some harmonic major type sounds by using the Mixolydian flat 9 scale when I'd already established a Mixolydian type of vibe. So hopefully that gives you some ideas for what you can do playing over some Sus4 chords. Head over to my website if you want any more information about this. There's loads of resources over there. It's bondtuition.co.uk. And I've also uploaded the backing track that I was jamming over there as well, so go and check that out. Cool, see you next week guys.